Testing one, two, three. Well, this channel is going to be designed to talk about the Cowboys and just my view or my opinion on who we should select with the fourth overall pick. Deep down in my heart, we should go defensive with the likes of a Miles Jack or Jalen Ramsey. And here's why. For years and years, being a diehard Cowboy fan, we saw how the defense didn't step up and have a playmaker. And now we have the opportunity and the chance to go out and get a legitimate defensive player who's going to be able to step up to the gauntlet and be able to make plays. From what I saw on film and tape, I see a lot of playmaker abilities in Jalen Ramsey, as well as of your Miles Jacks of the world. Now, the Joey Bosa view of things, just like what I'm hearing from a lot of the Cowboys talk and this sort of thing, is that he's more of a Greg Ellis type. I don't see a lot of playmaking abilities in his tool belt, as far as his ability to get out of the quarterback. He pretty much have like a one type of skill set, and that's just to bull rush and get to the quarterback. Not very smooth on the speed and this sort of thing. But who knows? The draft is so fickle. It's such a fickle path to think of when you're trying to say, okay, this guy's going to be a trailblazer. We just don't know. We just don't know, guys. There are some solutions out there that we can do to get some more additional pick in the second and third round. That will be, or fourth round, however the trade back selection would work. By us having the fourth overall pick, we can. We know that there are teams out there that's in need of a quarterback and may be anxious to pull the trigger. And with the Chip Kellys of the world that's out there with the 49ers, I believe they have either the 7th or the 9th pick. We can entertain that, switch positions with them, trade back, get a additional second round pick and a additional fourth round pick for that. Or I believe the LA Rams, they are in dire need of a quarterback too as well. That may want to entertain the possibility of trading up to that fourth overall selection to get a quarterback. And don't rule out the Philadelphia Eagles, although they did sign what's that guy name? Sam Bradford to a 2-year, $36 million contract. Now, I don't know where they got that from, but that's on them. You know, they signed that kid up for that amount of money, and to me and to my sight, I don't think that he's a proven quarterback. I may be wrong. He may be the next best thing since sliced bread. He may come out in guns a-blazing, as they say. The Cowboys really need to figure this out. And with the second round pick, I see the Cowboys maybe going with additional defense. I don't know. I just don't know. It's too early, too soon right now. But if so, they may go and get a nose tackle like a Billings or someone like that. I don't know, Austin, Jaron Reed or someone like that who can solidify the defensive line with the second overall pick. Now, my ideal situation would be, of course, you just hell with this. We already got a supreme offensive line. I would say just go ahead and get the best running back in the draft, and that would be Ezekiel Elliott. Just go ahead and stop trying to mix and match and try to pull and plug and this sort of thing with the free agencies or the selections of the other running backs that's already out there of the worlds like we did last year. It's not a proven fact that McFadden is going to be available to play for 16 games. To me, it's kind of like another functionality of Tony Romo last year. It's not a given that Tony Romo would play 16 games, but at least from my understanding, we just don't know how the Cowboys think. We never know. Sitting back as a Cowboys nation, we just don't know. For me, from what I can think of, is that they might be hell bent or hell stuck on Kellen Moore, with the being the second overall backup for Tony Romo, or they might be set on Jamil Showers, or bringing in a Likens of. They're not going to bring in RG3. I just don't feel that they're going to do that because of the system that we run. It's just not the same. I see that they may go with McCoy, kid, this the backup at the Washington Redskins. I can see them doing something like that. Another thing that I can see the Cowboys doing is doing something like that. I don't technically see them drafting a quarterback with the 4th overall pick. Then who knows if Jared Goff put around slips to us, they might pull the trigger on him, or they may just pull the trigger on Paxton Lynch. You just never know. Believe it or not, they might go with the Hackenberg kid. But what they should do, and I'm just lamenting what they should do, is, and it's not an ideal or truth that they're going to do this, is that they should, like I say, go ahead and get Ezekiel Elliott. And then with the 2nd round pick, find you a wide receiver who can take the top off the defense, with the likings of the Coleman kid, or even Braxton Miller. Now, he's not, of course, he didn't run like a 4.3 or 4.2 or even 4.47 or something like that. Now, he didn't run those type of speeds, but he a 4.5 guy. He can create space. With the Dez Bryants of the world on the other side, and T. Will coming and having Braxton Miller in the slot, opposed to your Cole Beasleys of the world, he can be a better player for us. Now, not discounting what Cole Beasley does for the Cowboys, but Cole Beasley without Tony Romo is just a subpar. But he's already subpar now, but he's below subpar without Tony Romo creating that space, or without a quarterback who can understand his routes, because he's so short too as well. Now, if we can luck up and get like maybe a Sterling Shepard, if he so happened to be out there with the 3rd or 4th overall pick, he's a better slot receiver than, believe it or not, Cole Beasley. In my eyes, I may be wrong, I may be right, who knows. I'm not a scout, but it just be to watching highlights and some of the game film. I'm just hoping, Another thing that the Cowboys may or may not do. Let's say, for instance, because I'm in love with Derrick Henry too as well. Believe it or not, him behind this offensive line, good Lord, make these teams pay. And then if Derrick Henry was behind the Cowboys line, it would actually speak volumes of who we are. A team that's going to be able to punch you in the mouth. We're going to beat you up on the offensive line, and you're going to dictate to us. Can you imagine teams trying to creep up into the box, trying to bring eight man fronts, and you leave Dez outside? And even the what's the number 19? I forgot his name already. Butler, leaving him on the outside. I think he can stretch the field a little bit. And who knows, maybe Lucky Whitehead can get his head together and maybe gain 5 or 10 pounds over the offseason and keep his speed, keep his balance, and be able to be effective for 2016. Maybe that can happen. Who knows? But all I can say is this right here, Cowboy Nation, is that we need to be able to make a difference this year. I'm tired of the 8-8s, the expectations of doing something big for a chance, and then we go back to 4-12. Well, we have been 4-12, but you know what I'm saying. It's time for the Cowboys to step up, step out, be great. With Jason Garrett, I'm like this with this guy. He's the type of guy that we went through the growing pains with him. We saw his abilities of being a what do you call that, an organizer. He a hell of an organizer, and he a hell of a clapper. We know he can clap good, but we need for next year for the Cowboys to be bullies. We need to be able to flex on our power. And when I'm saying that, I'm not saying like Cowboys are powerful as far as their branding and this sort of thing. I'm saying power as far as we have the number one offensive line, and we need to prove that. And you just can't do it with scraps of picking this player and fighting this player to put in the situation. I'm saying you go out there and you get the top of the best, and then you will solidify the offense attack. Meaning that if you go out and get Ezekiel Elliott with the 4th overall pick, which I know that they're not going to do, if you go out and get Ezekiel Elliott and you put him behind that offensive line, and then you go back in the second round pick, second round, and then you go get you a nose tackle or somebody who can fill in the plug on the first row of the defense, and then you sprinkle some magic during this offseason as far as free agency, then you're talking about a Super Bowl caliber team. Now, granted, we all know that Tony Romo may not play the full 16 games. But if Tony Romo can manage to stay healthy, he is one of the top tier quarterbacks in this league. You got a top tier quarterback, you got the best offensive line, and then you got the number one running back. Not saying that, hey, this guy is going to be like Adrian Peterson coming out of the hole, but you know from the college tapes and from his background of playing with Ohio State Buckeyes, and even his high school accolades, that he will be able to make a true transition in his NFL, supposedly just by naked eye alone, just by my naked eye alone, and watching these hours upon hours of tape on Ezekiel Elliott, that this can happen. Now, if you decide to go with the defense with the overall pick, that's cool. I can understand that. Like your Miles Jacks of the world and the Jalen Ramseys of the world. If you go with those two there, I wouldn't hate the pick, but I wouldn't be in love with the pick, because I'm still kind of shocked with the ideology that Jalen Ramsey could be Morris Claiborne Jr. He can be one of those guys, or Miles Jacks can be the second coming of Bruce Carter / Sean Lee, staying injured type of guy. Now, like I say, I'm not saying, because the draft is so fickle, this can happen to each and every player, that we all know there's boom or bust when you're talking about the draft, when you're talking about that high of a pedigree of a pick. But if they do decide to go with defense, then that makes or create an opportunity for Derrick Henry to be drafted with the 30. I think we got the 34th for the third pick. That will create that opportunity for us to grab him. And trust me, I'm not mad at that if we can manage a way to grab him with the second round pick, which is cool. Now, granted, you get Miles Jacks, and then you fool around and you get Derrick Henry. With that 3rd overall pick, with my suggestion, with my naked eye, I'm not a scout or anything, but with my suggestion, then that's when you should just go and creep and get a Dak Prescott if he's out there. And depending on how the quarterbacks are falling, because it's a copycat league, if no quarterback is selected